Let's go live. All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Caliber Corner. It is time for episode number 218, I think, season 4. And today we're going to talk about the origin of 5.56 NATO. Just give you a little story time about the background behind that. It's kind of fun to learn about because we are Caliber Corner. We should be talking calibers once in a while. And then also, we're just going to have this discussion. Is there just this one caliber that we could all be happy with? Or if there was that one caliber, what would it be? Just you could say no, okay, that's fine, but maybe there's that one caliber that really that you think you can function well with. And this whole idea actually comes from Single Shot with this discussion we had on 35 wheeling and its flexibility as a caliber overall. And so before we do that, let's go ahead and let the panel introduce themselves. We're early today. We've only got 1 hour, so we're going to do as much as we can. And yeah, so let's go and let the panel introduce themselves, and we'll just fire it up. Single Shot's in the house. Single Shot, how you doing today? You good?
Good. How you doing this morning?
Man, I am awake, terrifyingly awake. Actually, it's 7:02. I'm usually going full speed by this time anyway. I usually get up at 5 every morning.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What you been up to, man?
Oh, riding the roads. I'm headed to Georgia here on this next trip. I got to take a run to Waterville this morning and get some stuff for the truck. But other than that, I've been pretty busy. Of course, we've all been pretty busy anyway because the driver shortage and all. So it's been a rough go as far as that goes.
It's good for job security, but when you're actually in the thick of it, it's going to keep you busy, isn't it?
Oh yeah. We're gonna have one day this week up home up Quebec to show us just what cold is because the high is going to be 2 below.
Well, we're happy to send that your way. And Squib, if you haven't already experienced that, it's coming your way, Squib. We had a high of 9 a couple days ago. We've been sub-zero in the mornings. It's 20 out right now, and it's amazing how balmy it feels. I almost did need a stocking cap. We have no breeze. It's beautiful 21 degrees outside right now. So yep, here in eastern Nebraska.
It's pretty up here right now. Sun's out about 10 above, a little bit of a breeze.
Yeah.
So it'll warm up a little bit. Try to warm up the roads there a little bit, get rid of some of this ice that's on here.
Oh, I can't imagine. East Coast driving has got to be so much fun.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you.
It's exciting. Well, it's exciting. No, thank you.
No, thanks.
Yep.
I've had my share.
Yeah.
2 bad truck wrecks there yesterday when I come onto the toll road in Maine coming up through. 2 big trucks, one jackknifed way down in the ditch. It was a heck of a mess. Another guy tried to climb the ledges on the right side with a load of lumber. So that boy, he had himself a nasty day to say the least. But I'm not going to be back home till probably towards the end of the week, this next week. But we'll try to get something going.
Cool.
And have a video or 2 there. I am more active on Rumble. I'm getting some stuff done there finally. So check it out, Daywolf on Rumble.
Cool. Guys, you can check out Single Shot over on YouTube. It's single space shot with an exclamation point by it. So look for his channel and make sure you subscribe. He's got a lot of great just reloading videos and just gun talk in general. So make sure you get over there and subscribe to his channel. All right, and moving on. AWAG 1000. How's your morning going, man? What are you doing today? What's up?
I woke up and chose violence. So.
Oh God, let's hope not.
Nah, my coffee maker failed to function this morning, so I literally did some percussive maintenance and beat it into submission, and I have extracted the good coffee juices now.
Oh my gosh, dude. That's why you got to have instant as a backup. You don't have little tubes of Folgers instant just in case. I keep them in my backpack, dude.
No.
Because you never know if you're going to be without.
Just
even a cup of warm water and some instant, it can totally make or break your day. So.
Nah, I'm a coffee snob. I will not belittle myself to do that.
Dude, oh come on, man. All right. You can get Starbucks instant. Also, you can spend a lot of money on instant coffee if you want to. We'll make a coffee chat later. But anyway, so AWAG, what do you got coming up on your channel? You got a YouTube channel. A lot of people might not realize it. What's coming up?
Yeah, I'm actually in the process of editing a video right now that'll hopefully be out today.
Okay.
I got a bunch of stuff to do because I've been moving, wheeling and dealing some stuffs, clearing out my inventory. And
okay.
If you if you guys want to buy some AK bayonets, hit me up. Sorry.
Ooh. No, we're not facilitating the sale of a firearm. Bayonet,
okay.
I think that's probably fair game. Why don't you, we'll talk later, okay? I mean, after work, so, okay. Cool, man, cool. All right. And also joining us, Squib, are you done making your coffee review, or are you back with us, Squibby?
So I did the whole, first cup kind of thing, and I ended up with something that happens from time to time, and that is my taste buds aren't awake. I'm not awake. I like shooting the reviews first thing in the morning when I'm groggy. The coffee, one of the things it does is wake me up, right? So I don't want to be amped up on coffee and then talking about, is it giving me an energy boost or not? And that's kind of my own downfall. So I've noticed that as I drink, by the time I get to like cup number 5, it either starts getting better or it gets worse or something. I'm trying an organic coffee, and
well, every coffee is organic. I mean, what's the definition of organic? I mean,
they put a sticker on it and it's $7 more.
Exactly. That's just like if it's artisan. No offense, artisan Tony, but anything artisan means it's usually unsymmetrical and twice the price. So that's usually what artisan pizza, artisan flatbread, artisan sandwiches, artisan calibers, right? So
sure.
Yeah, no, I hear you, dude. If you ever watch my videos, I do the majority of my cleaning videos and tabletop reviews like super early in the morning. So I'm like still clearing snot out of my head and I'm not even awake. I'm like mumbling through sentences. And then by the end, I'm all jacked up talking. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. So I gotta like get everything ready to go, and I'm like, I gotta blow my nose a couple times to make sure I can smell better, and
just me.
Just all kinds of no. It's okay. So I did the bowl thing this time because I was in such a hurry to get the coffee brewing. I didn't do the sniff test because I normally smell it in the bag. I mean, I don't stick my face in the bag per se, but so I should. But it's a 4-pound bag, so it's I could fit my head in there. So I took a measuring cup, or if you were to say it, a measuring cup, and I put it in a bowl, and I said, yeah, my friend Travis P11 does this.
I do. I show off the beans to show the evenness of the roast and the oils and then the delicious toasty color that it offers you. It's a whole experience. Drinking coffee is a whole experience. It's the whole start to finish. You know this.
Well, no, I should go back and do a closer up of the beans since they're still in the bowl. And whether or not they're oily, because I don't think they are. Whereas this is the organic version of Ariosa, and Ariosa is my favorite.
Yeah, Ariosa is pretty oily.
Yeah, I don't think these are as oily. Maybe that's
a lot of that has to do with roasting time. It has to do with how long it sits after, because that oil is going to dry up over a couple. If it's like within a couple of days, you can get those oils are just kind of extracting themselves out of the bean. So that's why you get that sheen on a lot of the coffees. Now, some people say, well, that shows that it's over roasted or under roasted. I've seen it in some of the best coffees everywhere. It's when it comes out of the roaster.
Oily coffee beans to me are good.
Yeah. And some people are like, I wouldn't run that through my machine. It's like, well, I do, and it's delicious. So I'm sorry. So make sure you guys check out the Squiblo channel. I want you to go over there and subscribe. I want you to follow him and give him some good, honest feedback on his videos. He actually does.
And I don't want you to.
I do. I even paid a super chat on John's chat the other day just to promote you. So I want you guys to get over there, and I want you to show him a little bit of love. And speaking about showing love, we have got the rnldisplays.com AR-15 display stand. They're not a sponsor of the channel, but this was sent to me as a tester. So you get a nice, high-quality, American-made, veteran-owned company product. This will fit anything that'll fit a 5.56 magazine well, AR-15 lower. There's actually a lot of different firearms that you can place on this stand, but they do have stands for Glock magazines. They also have pistol stands. So head over to rnldisplays.com and go buy their product. Show them a little bit of love. You also get a wall mount bracket, so you can mount it on the wall too. And as you can see, I've got some empty space here. We'll be filling this up here at some point. So yeah. All right. So we're going to get started here. Like I said, we'll have a little bit of story time about the origin of the 5.56 round. I apologize if it puts you to sleep, but I want people to know where it came from. Like what was why or where did it evolve from? Because a lot of people might not realize that the 5.56 round itself, it's not that old of a round, the actual 5.56 NATO round. And so we'll talk about that origin in a little bit. Let's give a little shout out on the YouTube side. We got Kingpin out there. We got Tommy Gun. He is saying that 4 degrees in Fahrenheit, you made me work for it. Thanks, Tommy. I don't know metric. Okay. I'm an American. I know liters because of Coca-Cola. I know 100 kilometers an hour because I watch Formula One, which is 62 miles an hour. I don't know anything else metric. I can't grasp it. It doesn't make sense to me. It's arbitrary. Huh? I'm just messing with you, Tommy. But anyway, Eduardo Espinosa says that's negative 0.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Good to know. Yeah, we're about about the same temperature too. We were a couple days ago. Is Ariosa a coffee brand or roast? What exactly is it? Boy, this is Gunmetal Guy USA caught me off guard on that one. Help me out here. I can't remember, Squib. The Ariosa.
It's their roast. I would call it their signature roast. It's their big one. I'm including a link to a video
because I don't think it's a particular type of bean. There's Arbuckle's Ariosa.
They don't put a lot of description in.
Oh, they call it Ariosa. Okay, medium roast Central America blend.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and that okay, from Spanish airy. Yeah, airy. So I mean, it means that it's been well roasted. It's not stuffy, and yeah.
It's an old 19th century coffee cowboy roast
origin.
that they reproduce today. I guess you could say, if that's even, I'm if Josh from Arbuckles was watching right now, he's probably going, no, that's not, but that's the closest I can come to a description of it based on the little bit of information I've been able to get on it. I decided to try the organic this time, and I mean, right now my initial impression is it's black tea.
Yeah, it doesn't. The organic just means that it was produced without the use of certain pesticides or chemicals or within the vicinity.
I need those pesticides, Travis. I need those pesticides.
But I mean, a lot of people and that could be an important thing for people to stay away from those things. But I think getting away from the definition of organic, which means carbon-based, if I'm not mistaken, the fact that we've gotten away from it and now we just apply it to something that's not it's like, I don't know, it's like taking a word that has nothing to do with something else and connecting it to something else and giving it meaning. So anywho, we're still going through. I forgot to finish up the YouTube shout outs here. So Gunmetal Guy USA is out there. Eduardo Espinosa, DJ Play Nice is in the house. Sam of Anarchy 92, Kingpin Tacos and French Fries. There's a lot of you up early this morning. We should do this every morning. Heck, we should start at 6 a.m. every Saturday. I think we should start doing that. Of course, if I want to have a panel, I probably shouldn't go that route. Mike is out there. Let's see who else was joining in. M. Gabriel is out there. Pat Hurst is out there. George Washington's out there. Good morning, sir. Let's see who else is out there. Am I missing anybody else? I think that's about it. Real quick, William Trader's out there, and we'll give a shout out to you guys watching on the YouTube side. Okay, now M. Gabriel did have a question. He goes, what about this new 30 Super Carry? We can answer this question real quick. 30 Super Carry was designed to be superior than 380, but offer more capacity than 9mm in the same magazine. It offers more penetration than 9 in a comparable load. Okay, it has less expansion, but offers more, more capacity in the same size magazine. So it's kind of one of those arguments. Do you want more capacity, or do you want a more powerful round? Because if you go 9, you're going to have a wider expansion on your hollow point with comparable ammo and a comparable bullet, like something that's similar to it. You'll have more expansion, which means, in my opinion, more lethality with 9mm. But the 30 is going to give you more capacity in the same form factor. So I don't know. Again, Squib, you pointed out that it's answering a question that nobody asked, essentially, right? How do we make 380 better, but make it not equal to its big brother 9mm in terms of its size? Kind of the whole 357 SIG argument. So you're going to see a lot of 30 Super Carry videos on YouTube pretty soon. There's a couple guns out for it right now. It's like Nighthawk, I think, makes one for it. Smith & Wesson's making an M&P in 30 Super Carry. I would just go with a more potent plus P 9mm hollow point and just live my life and just call it good. Personally, I like 357 SIG. I like a more powerful round. That's not bad, but I don't know if 30 Super Carry is worth investing in when you can just run +2 on your 9mm mag. Yeah, it's going to be an extra inch of printing, but who cares, right? So I don't know. It does just have me going around in circles. Obviously, I'm not opposed to any new kind of ammo or any new kind of firearm hitting the market. I think it's great. Like 22 TCM or some of these other kind of calibers you don't hear much about. So anyway, that's just kind of my little take on it. So, all right. So since we only have an hour, and I do want to talk about the history of 5.56, I'm going to try to give you the abbreviated history of 5.56 so you can listen for a little caliber story time here. Again, sorry if I put anybody to sleep, but this is what the 5.56 cartridge is all about. But before we do that, we have to go to its earlier relative 223 Remington, and then we'll learn about 5.56, and then we'll have the discussion. And the reason why I chose this is because for a lot of people, that is such a flexible, viable round. It can get things done that you need to get done. It offers a lot of flexibility in the different loads you can set up for it. It offers a plethora, yes, I just said plethora, of platforms you can run it through. So 223 Remington and 5.56, it's a very, and there are some people that just won't touch it. There are some people, AWAG, that are 762 by 39 fans, that are strictly 308, that are .6 fans in a rifle. So anyway, that's just a little jab at AWAG. So I know he's a fan of 223 Rem. All right. I guess Eduardo Espinosa makes a good point. He goes, maybe it can make for a thinner concealed carry pistol too. Yeah, it does offer one more round in a single stack 9mm mag. If you have two mags side by side, the 30 Super Carry offers one extra round from the same size mag. So I guess if that's a big deal to you, you know. DJ Play Nice, why would you ask me that question? Because surely I, Travis P11, would not use the word plethora unless I knew what a plethora is. All right, so anyway, that's from Three Amigos. 5.56 NATO, what do you need to know? So the development of the cartridge and eventually became the 223 Remington, from which 5.56 NATO would eventually be developed, would be intrinsically linked to the development of a new lightweight combat rifle. The cartridge and rifle were developed as one unit by Fairchild Industries, Remington Arms, and several engineers working toward a goal developed by the U.S. Continental Army Command, or CONARC. So early development work began in 1957. So this is the 223 Remington round, the origin of it. A project to create a small caliber, high velocity SCHV firearm was created. Eugene Stoner of Armalite was invited to scale down the AR-10 762 design. Winchester was also invited to participate. The parameters that were requested by CONARC were the following: 22 caliber base pill, a bullet exceeding supersonic speed at 500 yards, a rifle that could weigh 6 pounds, a magazine capacity of 20 rounds, select fire for both semi-automatic and full automatic use, penetration of a U.S. steel helmet through one side at 500 yards, penetration of a .135-inch steel plate at 500 yards, accuracy and ballistics equal to M2 ball ammo, as in 30-06 Springfield, out to 500 yards, and wounding ability equal to an M1 carbine. Springfield Armory's Earl Harvey, and I might mess up some of these names, I apologize, lengthened the 222 Remington cartridge case to meet the requirements. It was then known as 224 Springfield. Concurrently with the SCHV project, Springfield Armory was developing a 762 rifle. Harvey was ordered to cease all work on the SCHV to avoid any competition of resources. Okay, then Eugene Stoner of Armalite, a division of Fairchild Industries, had been advised to produce a scaled-down version of the 762 AR-10 design. In May of 1957, Stoner gave a live-fire demonstration of the prototype of the AR-15 for General William G. Wyman, Commander-in-Chief of CONARC. As a result, CONARC ordered rifles to test. Stoner and Sierra Bullets Frank Snow began work on the 222 Remington cartridge. So using a ballistic calculator, they determined that a 55-grain bullet would have to be fired at 3,300 feet per second to achieve the 500-yard performance necessary. And for our friends up in Canada, that's 1,006 meters per second. Robert Hutton, technical editor of Guns and Ammo magazine, started development of a powder load to reach the 3,300 feet per second goal. Using DuPont IMR 4198, IMR 3031, and an Olin powder to work up the loads. Testing is done with a Remington 722 rifle and a 22-inch Apex barrel. During a public demonstration, the round successfully penetrated the U.S. steel helmet as required, but testing showed chamber pressures to be excessively high. Stoner contacted both Winchester and Remington about increasing the case capacity. Remington created a larger case called 222 Special, which was loaded with DuPont IMR 4475 powder. So for those of the reloaders, I'm speaking your language right now. Due to several different 222 caliber cartridges being developed for the SCHV project, the 222 Special was renamed 223 Remington in 1959. In May of that year, a report was produced stating that 5 to 7-man squads armed with AR-15 rifles had higher hit probabilities than 11-man squads armed with M14 rifles. So whether you agree or disagree with what the requirements were, this is just what the environment was back then, right? He ordered, at a 4th of July picnic, Air Force General Curtis LeMay fired an AR-15 and was very impressed with it. He ordered a number of them to replace M2 carbines that were in use by the Air Force. By November, testing at Aberdeen Proving Ground showed that AR-15 failure rate had declined to 2.5 failures per 1,000 rounds, resulting in the M16 being approved for Air Force trials. All right, last page. Marksmanship testing in 1961, comparing the M16 to the M14, indicated that 43% of M16 shooters achieved expert, while only 22% of M14 shooters did. General LeMay subsequently ordered 80,000 rifles. In the spring of 1962, Remington submitted the specifications of the 223 Remington to the Sporting Arms and Ammunition Manufacturers Institute, or SAMI. In July of 1962, operational testing ended with a recommendation for adoption of the M16 rifle chambered in 5.56 by 45. Now, in September of 1963, the 223 Remington cartridge was officially accepted and named cartridge 5.56 millimeter ball M193. So this specification includes a Remington-designed bullet and the use of IMR 4475 powder, which resulted in a muzzle velocity of 3,250 feet per second, or 991 meters per second, and a chamber pressure of 52,000 psi. Okay, we're now getting to 5.56. In 1970, NATO members signed an agreement to select a second, smaller caliber cartridge to replace the 7.62 by 51 NATO cartridge. Of the cartridges tendered, the 223 Remington M193 was the basis for a new design created by FN. The FN-created cartridge was named 5.56 by 45 NATO, with the military designation of SS-109 in NATO and M855 in the US. The new SS-109 ball cartridges required a 228 millimeter or 1 9-inch twist rate, while adequately stabilizing the longer L110 tracer projectile required an even faster 1 7-inch twist rate. So the Belgian 62 grain SS-109 round was chosen for standardization as the second NATO standard rifle cartridge, which led to the October 1980 Stenag 4172. So if you're a reloader or a military person, I'm talking right to you. The SS-109 used a 62 grain full metal jacket bullet with a 7 grain mild steel tip to move the center of gravity rearward, increasing flight stability and thereby the chances of striking the target tip first at longer ranges, in part to meet a requirement that the bullet be able to penetrate through one side of a World War II US M1 helmet at 800 meters, which was also the requirement for 7.62 by 51 NATO. An actual helmet was not used for developmental testing, but an SAE 1010 or SAE 1020 mild steel plates positioned to be struck at exactly 90 degrees. It had a slightly lower muzzle velocity, but better long-range performance due to higher sectional density and a superior drag coefficient. The requirement made the SS-109 M855 round less capable of fragmentation than M193. Last bit, here we go. The 223 Remington cartridge inspired an international tendency towards relatively small-sized, lightweight, high-velocity military service cartridges that allowed a soldier to carry more ammunition for the same weight compared to their larger and heavier predecessor cartridges. They have favorable maximum point-blank range or battle zero characteristics and a relatively low bolt thrust and free recoil impulse, favoring lightweight arms design and automatic fire accuracy. So similar intermediate cartridges were developed and adopted by the Soviet Union in 1974, 5.45 by 39, and by the People's Republic of China in 1987, 5.8 by 42 millimeters. So here's the question I have for you guys. Squibb, I got a question for you because you're military, you are a Marine, right? AWAC single shot. Why are we still using 5.56? Do you think it's a good idea for us to level up and go to something more powerful that delivers more energy further downrange because of the changing dynamics of our military encounters? What do you guys think? What's your thoughts on this? I want to throw this out there.
As a civilian, I have no bearing on what goes on in the military. However, my opinion is that I think the 5.56 should just hang out and stay there because in all reality, military segments have the ability to go full auto in short engagements, which basically dumps a lot of lead very, very fast. Whereas, most of your engagements that are at longer ranges, you're really not really going over like 300 yards to engage a target unless they have, some sort of sniper system or, long range rifle.
But again, the 5.56, it delivers what's needed at the 500 to 800 meter sweet spot, which is what they were kind of looking for, to deliver the energy needed to penetrate the, the steel and also keep its lethality. Yeah. Because, we keep hearing about all these new rounds. I keep hearing about 6.8 this and 6.5 that, and the military is going to switch over to this and that, and nothing's really changed. So do you think we'll ever get away from 5.56? Do you think that
eventually?
Really? Okay.
Yeah, eventually. But as of right now, there's just so much of an abundance of it in civilian and law enforcement sectors that it's not going to change there ever.
And think of our NATO allies. If we change, then are they going to want to change since they're already invested in the arms and the ammo? Are they ever going to want to change to a 6.8 this or 6.5
No,
that?
but that's what NATO is if one change is made, they also have to change.
Yeah, and I can understand that. Yeah, I get it. Okay, Squibby, what's your take on 5.56? Your experiences with it? Do you think it is just a good, flexible, all-around caliber, or do you think we should move on to something else, or do you think we shouldn't have gotten away from 308? Squib? What's your take on this? What do you think?
So, the reason they went to this is because the doctrine changed. They went from marksmanship to just spray and pray, and later the Marine Corps decided that after looking at it, that they wanted to get back into marksmanship. I mean, marksmanship was always part of it, but talking to soldiers, they've told me that their training was a little bit different. Not that they can't shoot or anything else like that. It's just the doctrine is different. So when they're looking at how much weight the ammo is, how many more rounds that somebody can carry, the smaller round is more appealing from that. We got to lay down a whole bunch of fire kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
The reality is that it's not really capacity issue comes into play really for suppressing fire more so than offensive type fire. Not to say that it isn't a good idea to have that, but that's what you've got your squad automatic weapons for, your machine guns. You've got your support stuff for. A lot of people think that we walk around all the time with it on burst or full, and we hardly ever do. We almost always use semi-auto. As a matter of fact,
that's just a movie thing.
Full it's auto more likely to jam. You're going to use full auto in certain types of engagements, but it's and just like people think machine guns are offensive, and they're really not.
I always thought it was for cover fire, for advancing or pulling back. It's cover fire to get your guys back to cover points.
Right, and that's what it is. But in the movies, once again, they don't show it that way. And it's not to say that you can't use a machine gun offensively. I was watching a video last night where they had a Ma-Deuce on the back of a Humvee, and they were using it offensively. But that's not the way it typically is used. So, if you want to go ahead and put your support weapons like your machine guns in a larger caliber, I think that makes more sense. But for your average infantry guy or somebody guarding the airfield or something like that, the 5.56 does just fine. If we decided to go to something else, we can, and we don't have to follow NATO. But it is going to create supply chain issues because we don't necessarily see. It's like the people that think the UN can walk into the United States and put down their laws. It doesn't work that way. That's not true. That's a myth. If we decide we want to deviate from NATO, we can, but it's just going to create issues. They don't tell us what to do. We don't tell them what to do. However, if we do change and NATO changes because of us, don't be surprised if we get stuck footing the bill for it initially. So I'm okay with the 5.56. I think it does the job for what it's intended for. I think it does the job. I think there's other platforms out there to do other things. And I know there's going to be somebody out there rubbing their nose going, what about this unit using that? Or what about this? Certain special units can use other calibers. They can use other platforms. I'm talking about your mainstream standard issue service rifle, right? Not your specialty not your sniper rifle, that sort of thing. It does the job. It's just fine. It would be a lot of money. It would be logistically. I don't see any purpose other than somebody going, we need something new, or somebody's getting a kickback. Honestly, there's really no need for it.
Well, what we hear, the justification for trying to switch to a 6.8 or 6.5 is because we need to deliver more energy at longer ranges because our engagements in the open desert or mountain terrain areas, or it's gone from a CQB role to now having to deliver that lethality at a longer distance. So that's the justification for going with something not at the 308, but something between, that can still pull that off for us if we need it for those 300 meter plus engagements.
With an M16,
sounds like semantics and politics to me.
And
I'm just saying, as a civilian, this is what I hear and see.
And AWAG, that's the reality of it. A lot of the procurement stuff does really come down to semantics and politics sometimes. I mean, look in World War II about how many nations stayed with a bolt action rifle when the semi-auto was available because
that's a good point.
And it's like, well, back in World War I, we didn't need that. And I'm one of those old fuddy-duddy guys. Honestly, if they said, we need you to go out and do what you did before, but you've got to supply all your own equipment, I'd take my M1 Garand with me. Seriously, I would. I prefer the 30 caliber over that personally. Okay. but I also don't need a 30-round mag to do the job. That's not saying I wouldn't take a mag-fed Garand or something like that, and you go, well, just the M14. It's a little bit different. I'm kind of a 30-06 kind of guy. So I'm not going to turn down capacity, but shot placement, marksmanship, and the type of ammunition being used really has a lot to do with it, as well as who you're with, how many guys, what's the mission, what's your support
loadout weight,
equipment.
dude. I mean, has that ever been an issue too?
You know what?
Like,
no,
it's not. Okay.
I purposely chose to carry the M60 because nobody else wanted to carry it because it was too heavy. And I would carry extra ammo because I'm not waiting for this guy all the way over there to try to get to me, and he's getting his ass shot off along the way. I actually got in trouble one day for actually carrying more than the standard amount of weight. I got my ass in trouble for that one. That was I lost my weekend liberty that
Richard
weekend.
Simmons walks out and starts screaming at you, you know.
I had a squad leader go up and down me about, carrying all this extra, which I didn't have a problem because back then I was dumber, so I was stronger. So yeah, I understand that they want to standardize stuff, and I agree with some of that. I think the 5.56 does the job. We don't need to switch to something else. There's just so many other things that exist that are in play. It's not the end all do all be all. It's not. And like I said, I would take my M1 Garand with 8-round M blocks before I took an M16A2 with 30-round Stanek mags, unless they were paying the bill, in which case, hey, I got to do what they say. But if I had to provide my own platform, that's the way I would go. Yeah. If we went back to 30 caliber, eventually you'd have some crybabies whining about the weight, and you're going to have some people say that it's got too much recoil. If you look at the M16 or the M4 or the AR-15, as far as a platform for anybody can shoot it. A child can shoot it. An old person can shoot it. Somebody of tall stature, short stature. It really, that wasn't really the point behind it, but that was one of those things that's like, oh, hey, anybody can shoot this. And as far as the maintainability and the flexibility of it, the fact that you can change things out, and it's just overall, it fills so many roles, and it's done it so well. Why? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah.
So the 5.56 is it's paired with that. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And there's such a plethora of pills you can run through. There's so many different grain weights and calibers and types of bullets and powders. You can really tailor to do what you want, I mean, and it can really bring in. So there are people that deer hunt in Nebraska. I don't, but there are people that deer hunt with 5.56, a very potent polytip 5.56 round. You see the advertisements on Hornady where people post their hunt picks that they've taken down with the 5.56. I mean, it's got a lot of potential as an all, and I'm not trying to peel the foots here. I'm just saying it has a lot of potential, not just from the variety of platforms, but from just the variety of ammo. Run a 77 grain Sierra Match King Bowtail Hollow Point, you're going to be rocking,
Or
I mean, seriously,
a 40 grain frangible for prairie dogs, right? Yeah, there is a lot of flexibility in that, although twist rate, barrel length, and powder and all that does factor in, and that's when we start going into the weeds on that. In general, though, yeah, you have a lot of options there. The military only uses, I think, 4 that I can think of off the top of my head, 4 different bullets for the 5.56. But I'll give you an example. I mean, AWAG was talking about open desert engagements. I could put a round into a human being's head at 500 meters with iron sights on an M16A2 with a 55 grain bullet when I was 19 years old and had young eyes like AWAG. So it comes down really more to training and discipline, in my opinion, than the platform you take out there. Although if the thing jams, then that's a problem. If they said we want to get rid of the M4, M16A2 or M16 M4 platform because it's jamming because of all the sand in the desert, then I could get behind that. Honestly, I really could, because you got
to have a weapon that's going to work in the operational environment. You don't have a choice. If you want to win, right?
Its Achilles heel is clogging up with fouling and dirt and things like that. It will jam under certain circumstances, whereas the other platforms may not. And if they said, well, since we're changing platforms, we're changing calibers, that's how you would get me on board if I said on the panel to say, yeah, let's change it up.
Okay. AWAG, go ahead. You wanted to say something?
No, I was just gonna reiterate that 5.56 really isn't going anywhere. And off the top of my head, from a couple of the clone builds that I did, I wanted to use the correct ammo as well. Like, say, for a Mark 12, which is an 18-inch 5.56, they use a 77 grain Sierra Match King There's
I
also
heard it's a good round. I really want to try some.
Oh yeah,
in
they're
my
definitely good.
Daniel Defense M4A1 because that's supposed to be a wonderful match with the 14.5-inch barrel. I guess I've run 55 grain through and I've got 1-inch groups. I can't imagine what a higher quality. That's cheap factory ball ammo. That's nothing fancy. Yeah. So I can imagine it was something that's more tailor made to that barrel, what it could potentially pull off, and just what it offers, what it delivers. You know,
there's the 62 grain green tips. There's a 55 grain SS109s, and then there's a 50 grain frangible that's used in like SOCOM and stuff like that.
So ammo recommendations to people that are listening. A lot of people are just going to buy whatever's cheap they can find on the shelves. Literally, that's what they will. That's what I did when I first got an AR. It's like, what's the cheapest ammo? And it was always 55 grain. Do you guys think that it's better in general, whether you're running a 1-7, 1-8, 1-9 twist to run a green tip?
I don't care.
62 grain. Well, what's gonna deliver better performance and accuracy? Does it matter or not? Yeah.
Honestly, if I'm gonna be running something for a defensive situation, I'm gonna be running my Mark 18 with 36 grain frangibles.
Oh, okay. And I mean, I love the 62 grain PMC bronze. I think it's made in Korea, or is that right? It's a
PMC is Korea.
PMC, yeah, and it's a really high quality round, and the gun cleans up well. I've noticed it just doing cleaning because I do religious cleaning in my firearms. It really does leave a lot less powder residue. I think you use a higher quality powder in it versus say, obviously Tula or even Federal American Eagle. So, I mean, I really like the 62 grain round. I just think it offers a lot of flexibility overall. So let's just check out some comments. I got some great comments coming in. A lot of you are military people out there in the YouTube side, and that's interesting to hear this from you. So Christian Gress says, I prefer 62 grain, but honestly, it doesn't matter for plinking. Let's see. Tommy Gunn says, I just finished reloading 62 grain green tip off my Dillon. All right, man. Let's see here. Let's see. Kevin June's out there. Good morning, Kevin June. We've had a few other people join in here too. Razor JB says, M262 77 grain was great for accuracy, but we moved to a different lighter ammo for the lethality. Had issues, however, accuracy in our Mark 12s was great. E-Rock says, I shoot 77 Sierra tip Match King out to 600 yards with ease. I heard it's a very high quality round. That it's it right there. A lot of units actually use that as their ammo. Let's see. Let's go on and see what we got going on here. Kingpin says, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Thank you, Kingpin. I appreciate it. E-Rock says, give me my Ruger charger and my 22 short AP and I'll go to work. Haha. All right. Let's see. Kingpin says about half the 5.56 that I have has a picture of a deer on the box. Yeah, and like the Hornady website, they do have little symbols that tell you if it's a small varmint round or if it's a kind of medium like animal round, essentially, like if it's something capable for deer or something around that size or not, right? You get that quite a bit as when you buy it. Razor JB says 95% of soldiers can't shoot to effective capability of the M4. The need for capacity is good with 5.56. Going to a higher caliber means less rounds and more weight. Doesn't make sense for the.
He must be in the army. He must be in the army.
He had made a comment that people just can't shoot like they used to. I don't know if they just rush guys through your accuracy chunk of.
You know what?
Class
okay, so it's a difference. It's a difference in doctrine. We've always been known for marksmanship. That's not to say that there aren't guys in the army that can outshoot Marines. I mean, some of you guys might remember Boomer. He was on. He was doing videos there for a while. He's Air Force, and he was out shooting a Marine one day because he had more traditional training, whereas this Marine was a younger Marine, and he had the. All right, we're going to start you off on a red dot. And I'm just, oh my goodness, why did they go away from that? So, yeah.
Well, I mean, I would love to have a nice red dot on top of some of my ARs. But so Kingpin says, give me a Sky and one extra mag and point me at the bad guy. So Kingpin, make sure you push those frame pins back in after you pull the trigger the first time, okay? Kingpin, don't ever give that advice to people, man. That's horrible. Why would you do that? That's something you tell your that's a gun you buy your in-laws, right?
That's pretty gross, and that's coming from a guy that carries a Keltec.
Ooh. Well, I mean, the Sky came from the Keltec anyway. When you think about it, they're kissing cousins. But Charles Bayless says, "I'm glad I'm not the only fan of the M1 over the AR-15." Tommy Gunn says, "I'm old school. Started my military career with an FAL, and he's up in Canada, if I'm not mistaken." Let's see here. Combat tactics is not just hits. Psychology can pin units with volume of fire, but no hits. This is true.
Yes, it can. I'm not saying that you've got to go out there and, okay, the way I was trained was one shot, one kill. All right. Although it seems that I have to put multiple holes in a deer to get it to bleed out fast enough. Otherwise, it runs away on 3 legs.
Shot placement, bro. Shot placement.
Yeah, shot placement. Well,
Shot
that's
placement,
what I did.
bro.
That's what I did with the new caliber this year.
You need 30 super carry in your gun.
No way, dude. 450 Bushmaster. 450 Bushmaster is the new caliber for me, man. That is a shot placement round.
450 Bushmaster is the 30 super carry of the AR-10 platform.
Yes.
Right? Actually, no, 450 Bushmaster, you can run it through AR-15 platforms, right?
You can run it through a bunch of different things. I'm sold. But
it is a wicked round, dude. Hey, you guys go back and watch our Caliber Corner episodes on 450 Bushmaster. Actually did a shortened segment just on, because we did all those, well, I don't even know what you would call them, the 450, 500, whatever calibers. We kind of had our discussion over 3 weeks on each one when they were kind of starting to become popular and stuff like that. So
yeah, but see, it's a matter of doctrine. Also, the Army has a much bigger budget than the Marine Corps because they can go out there and waste all the ammo they want, and
shots fired.
They shoot more ammo in one day than we have in our budget for 1 year. So they can do that sort of thing. We're out there and they're going, this is all we've got, so make it count. So and I'm not kidding. They actually told me that one time and they meant it. And it's like, shoot somebody if you have to, but don't, because this is all we have. It's like, seriously. Oh yeah, they did. Oh yeah, it was like,
you can take what you want, but you eat what you get, and that's all you get, son. No seconds for anybody here. No seconds for anybody.
It's like, don't we have any ammo in the budget? Like, budget? What do you think we are? The Army? We don't have.
Yeah, there you go.
Go hang out with the Air Force guys, and they're giving us free shit.
Why do you think we still use a 50-year-old combat knife that we buy at Walmart for $20?
Yeah, no kidding. No, we go hang out with the Air Force, and they would give us free stuff, and we'd take it back and be like, man, we didn't have to pay for this. And they're like, yeah, man, we got 100 of these.
So when the Air Force takes their stuff to the goodwill of the military, it gets pushed over to the Marines.
To Marines, yeah. We get all the
hand-me-downs.
We do. The squad automatic weapon was a hand-me-down from the Army. Our dress blue uniform was a hand-me-down from the Army. A lot of things were a hand-me-down from the Army because we have no...
Wait a minute, the Air Force got peanut butter in their MREs? When did that happen?
Yeah. Oh, no. If you... okay, so if you want stale MREs, go get them from the Air Force because they don't eat as many. The freshest MREs are the Marines.
Well, they have buffet lines, right? That's what I've been told. They have buffet lines. Yeah.
But no, really, it is a difference in training. Although we use the same platform, and we some of the training crosses over and stuff like that. So I was trained with the whole 1-shot 1-kill. They're not doing that with the kids today, and there are situations where you've got to lay down that level of fire. Maybe you don't have any artillery support, you don't have any air support. You're trying to flank them. There's all kinds of things. I'm not saying we never lay down. Hell, I carried a machine gun. Okay, I know all about laying down suppressing fire.
Yeah,
it's just between a difference in experience because people are in different theaters at different times and a different in doctrine and different training at that time. If you talk to a guy in the 1960s who went through the same training I did, he's going to have a different doctrine. So we kind of go with what we know. And I'd like to read a comment from Mario Mosen. He said, we've already fixed the 5.56 issue in desert climates. We used a dry lube and Fallujah approved, no issues while I used it for 3 deployments in Iraq. So, the oil that we would use, we would constantly oil our guns because that kept them from jamming. But the oil is part of what will attract the dirt. But even if they didn't have a certain kind of lube, they would just foul up on their own. That's the only complaint I really have about that platform. But you can change out powders and you can get a cleaner burning powder. You can chrome line stuff. There are all kinds of things
you can clean your gun daily and keep your dust cover closed too. I mean, I heard that helps, but I mean, I'm not a soldier, so what do I know?
Yeah. We would keep dust covers on them. I mean, there's all kinds of different things that you can do to mitigate certain things. But it sucks when you have your system go down in the middle of a firefight. That's not good. That's really not good.
Squib, I want to have you answer this question for me, and then we'll put a question over towards single shot. Kingpin says, are the green tips for everyday sale still steel cord rounds? The green tip is the bimetal bullet. Help remind me. I know it's the armor piercing round, right? Yeah.
If it's a green tip and it's designated M855, it is a steel penetrator.
But really, I mean, any rifle round could potentially penetrate steel.
Yes. Okay. If I had to apply a description to it, and this is not an official description, the 62 grain green tip, I would call it a semi-armor piercing. Seriously. Because it has that steel element there. That does give it a little bit more punch. However, it's not what the media would
No, yeah, remember the media is going to push armor piercing.
It's going to go through a tank.
Body armor piercing,
and
so will 22 LR. What's the point? What?
I used 55 grain all but one time. The only time I ever used 62 grain is when the ground pounders gave me some ammo because they had it. And I put it in our Stanig mags, but I ran it through French FAMAS rifles. This is where the whole NATO thing comes into play. I was able to use the French standard service rifle with our magazines and our ammunition. And that's, where having the same caliber really comes in useful, especially when you've got multiple nationalities on a deployment, or it's a UN thing where you've got all these, they can share things. That Canadian sniper that set the world record that was later beaten was able to set it using American ammo in his rifle. He had ran out of Canadian ammo, and he asked to borrow some American ammo because that was the only, 50 BMG that was available at the time, and he was able to get further out shots with it. So even though it was a hotter burning, round, it was still able to run in that. Now, I don't know that our allies use any sort of different 5.56 NATO. I've never really researched that, but it'd be interesting to see if, because of their platforms, if they ran something different, but it would still run in ours.
Yeah. Well, and so what's odd is that a lot of that powder comes from Canada. So you think the 50 BMG round would have been, odd. Yeah. Let's see. William Trader, you need to get a hold of Artisan Tony because I thought that Artisan Tony had emailed you. You won, I think it was you, William Trader, that won the mana system over on his drawing when he did it that night. So, okay. So single shot, put this on you. What's your take on the 5.56 round? What do you think, man? Is it kind of the be it all, end it all for the military? Does it do what it needs to do, or do you think it's time for the military, all of our branches, to move on from 5.56? What do you think, single shot?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's still very viable, and it's very very good for people that are coming into the branches that are recoil sensitive. They never shot a firearm, one or the other. But with the advent of these new powders and bullets and types of ammunition that they're putting together, I don't see any problem with it. Of course, that's up to the military. That's subject to change without notice at any time anyway. But I've always had good luck with the 5.56 and 223. So, if there's something that comes out, that's more effective. I thought the 6.8 SPC was gonna step up to the plate, but for some reason that one there isn't being used hardly at all now.
It's kind of funny. All these companies get all these millions of dollars. You hear about, Winchester got a $20 million contract for this round, or Federal got a $50 million contract for that round. It's like, but you don't really hear about it. All you ever hear about is, the change is coming, and then years pass and nothing changes. So I don't know. It's kind of odd. Maybe they're maybe developing the round, and the ammo does show up on the consumer market. Now, I will say this from the consumer perspective, me being a civilian, the 5.56 round, I mean, just the variety of platforms that you can get for, the different barrel lengths available to you in the ARs, and the you can go, subsonic or supersonic, you can run a suppressor. I mean, it really is, in my opinion, I think it's a caliber that every American should buy into. You should have it because it is a very viable platform. And if you're totally opposed to it, if you're a 7.62x39 guy, fine, good. Or if you're a 308 person, great. From my experience, I would trust my rifles, trust my life to my rifles if I had to. They work. I keep them clean. They function well. They very rarely malfunction. The one time I did have a malfunction in my AR, it literally ripped the rim off of a steel case tool around. So, I mean, it wasn't the rifle's fault. It was doing what it's supposed to do, but the steel case, it just tore the rim right off the round when it was extracting it. So that was pretty cool. No, it wasn't at the range.
No, I've got an idea anyway, because I'm a Wildcat caliber kind of guy anyway. A lot of the stuff that I work with. Now, they have a cartridge that's called, they have actually 3 cartridges. They've got the 6, the 6.5, and the 7mm TCU. It's based on the same case, the 223 Remington case. I am actually thinking about trying to find a barrel for one of those calibers for the AR, and I'm going to do some tests on it, because you got some variations in bullets with those 3 different calibers. You got the 243, the 264, and the 286.
Yeah.
The 7mm. And there's quite a lot of variations in bullet types that's available in those calibers. And you got about the same range. You got a little bit larger bullet diameter, so you got a little bit better performance. And I think that one of those cartridges there could be very viable on an AR platform. Like I said, you got a little bit bigger bullet and bigger diameter when it expands. So, that's a possibility as far as I'm concerned. If they're going to step up, you're not going to, well, let's back up just a little bit on the range. You got a max effective range on the 223, 5.56. And you might shorten that range up a little bit. Well, why would you be shooting that far with that rifle? Most of the close range combat distances at the most is 75 yards. At the very most of it was within combat range 7 feet.
Well, I got to say, it's got to depend on the theater. I mean, every theater combat's going to have its own different engagement rates.
Sure.
I mean, we're talking battles in the city versus battles up in the mountains,
Absolutely.
of Afghanistan. It's going to vary. But I'm not going to disagree with you. A lot of the, the close quarters combat is going to be, right with what's, like you said, 75 yards, so many meters. So, yeah, it really does depend. So,
yep. Yeah, and all three of those TCU calibers are all based off the 223, so you really wouldn't have to change anything except for the barrel. The bolt's going to fit, the magazines are going to work. You got pretty much a win-win situation with that.
Here's the one thing I also like. Yeah, go ahead.
We'll see, because I'm going to have to make my mind up on which one of those I want to work with, and
just buy them
see
all.
if I can get... Well, that's a possibility.
It's not my pocketbook,
one of each on barrels and try them, sure.
Yeah.
I know with my 7 TCU, all my TCUs, the pistol barrels, 15-inch. Them things are pretty hard hitting, and they're very accurate at 100 yards. So there you go on that.
So I've got about 5 minutes before I have to go. Got to be into report to work here online. Real quick here, just want to say, if you do buy into 5.56, as an AR-15, the great thing about it is I've shown on my channel, you can run a 300 blackout upper, you can run a 7.62x39 upper, you can run a 22 LR upper if you want to. So if you're a first-time gun owner looking at buying one, get yourself an AR-15 because it offers so much flexibility and value. I mean, you can get yourself into a nice AR for under $500 now. The prices are dropping back big time. You could probably get yourself going if you get a certain brand of upper, and I'm not going to just shout brands out, but if you go with, a certain brand of upper and a lower, you could really get set up for about $400 minus your sights and your magazines and your ammo. You can at least get the platform and start from there. That's what I did when I first got into, when I got my first AR-15. So, okay, we only got a couple minutes left. I'm just going to run this question around the horn, so to speak, in the words of Sandhills Media. So, do you think that there's just that one caliber out there that will take care of all of your own personal needs? And if so, what is it? AWAG, I'm going to drop this one on you. What would be your one and only go-to caliber if it existed? If it didn't, you just got to say no. What do you think, man?
300 Winchester Magnum. In all reality, I don't care about recoil. If I have to use it defensively, throw a red dot on top of it and let it rip, tater chip.
A couple of those will probably send people running for the hills.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, they're shooting a cannon at us. Yeah. Man. All right. Okay, Squibload, what about you? Is there just one preference of caliber that you had if you could only have one caliber to just survive and get by? What do you think, Squib?
Not really as much of a preference, but if it was you can only have one caliber, you can have different platforms that shoot that caliber, but you can only have one 44 Magnum.
Oh, love it. Yeah, just again, flexibility, the carbine platforms, the rifle platforms, the pistol platforms, revolvers, right? You're set. So cool. All right, and single shot. If you could only have one caliber, what would that caliber be?
Oh boy, pistol or rifle?
Well, it's your choice. Well, I mean, you might choose a caliber that's flexible for both. So, I mean, because think about 5.56. You could buy any pistol platform, AR-15 pistol platform. right? Or even Thompson Center break action single shot platform, right? So what would be your one go-to caliber?
I don't know. I think I would have to go with the 44. Because you got 44 Magnum and 44 Special. And I've had a lot of luck. Took a lot of deer with a 44 mag.
So for me, I'm going to go with 357 Magnum. I'm going to downsize a little bit. I love that round. For me, it's the perfect balance of comfort at the range of shooting with performance. And for me, accuracy. Love 44 mag, but I've only shot it a few times. Squib, I shot it in your Henry, and then out of a snub nose revolver. It was very, very unpleasant. And I mean, I've even shot 454 Casull and so on, and I thought that even had less recoil and less shock than 44 mag. But that's just me. That's something that can be dealt with some training and practice and maybe some different rounds, of testing. So I'm gonna go 357 mag. I like 357 Magnum, although it does kind of maybe limit platforms a little bit and options compared to other platforms. But now Midnight Range TM says, Travis P11, are we only talking military or civilian self-defense too? For a truck gun or something is 5.56. For a truck gun or something is 5.56 enough with the possibility of vehicle penetration, etc., or bump up to 300 blackout or 6.5. I would say 5.56 with a stout round with maybe a 77 grain pill would probably take care of your needs. 300 blackout is going to offer, I'd have to go back in and looking at the ballistics and energy and so on. I mean, they kind of have different applications. I love 300 blackout, but we've just been trying to say that 5.56 does offer probably some of the best flexibility, availability of ammo, cost of ammo, platform availability for the average consumer out there. So I guess it just doesn't really matter. It kind of depends on what you want to do with it. 6.5 is any of the 6.5 calibers have been great for me to test. I love them. And again, 300 blackout, I've tested subsonic and supersonic, and it's a performer, man. What I like about 300 blackout is you get a good full energy shot with a relatively short barrel. Okay, you get a full powder burn within a 9-inch barrel, and
light recoil.
Yeah. No, I agree. And again, I think it is a nice. If I was not going to go 5.56, I'd go 300 blackout. But understand, you're looking at roughly 75 cents to $1 per round. It depends on how much you want to practice with it and train with it. You can reload it. Again, you can modify your 5.56 cases to take 300 blackout if you're a reloader. And I'm somebody who I've got a 300 blackout 10.5-inch pistol, and I've invested in the Magpul 300 blackout mags. I've got plenty of 300 blackout ammo. I like it, but just know what you're getting yourself into. So depending on your budget and your needs, it does offer really good performance. I've done some chrono testing on 300 blackout. If you guys check it out on my channel, I show the differences between a 16-inch barrel, or no, is it 16-inch? I think it's 10.5-inch and 8.5-inch, or 16 and 10.5, one of the two. And I show the differences with subsonic and supersonic ammo, so you can see what happens when you lop 3 inches off the end of the barrel. It really surprised me what happened. So anyway, guys, it's 8 o'clock. I got to get busy doing some work here, so we're going to go ahead and let the channels give us their final plugs. We'll be back next Saturday at our normal time. I believe so on Saturday. So we'll be starting back up at 8 o'clock Central Time. So Squib, we're going to go ahead and let you put the first plug in. What do you want to say before we go?
I'll actually plug my channel. Ugh.
What?
Yeah.
No, get out of here. You don't. You always say, don't come watch me.
Yeah, and if you don't watch this video, you're not going to hurt my feelings, really. It's just I'm going to publish something this morning, so it might as well be this one. So here, there's the link, and go to video details, visibility unlisted,
dog treat
public,
video,
done,
dog treat video,
save there.
Nice.
Yes. So for those of you who like dogs, there's a dog treat video.
Yeah.
That's really about
just
it.
sleeping right over here. Yeah. There you go, dog treat video. Okay, I'm going to check it out. Now you got my attention. So
no, work, make money. You got to buy another upper or something.
Oh, no, I'm good. I'm fine. Don't worry about me, man.
Never enough uppers.
Never enough uppers. That's what we should call myself. I should go never enough uppers. That's, God knows I've had enough of them. So, all right, AWAG, anything you want to say before we go?
Check out my channel. Hopefully there'll be a video up today.
Cool.
I'm getting back into editing, so
cool.
I'm still bumping the camera a lot.
I do all the time because my camera's in front of me for everything I do for tabletops and cleaning videos. It's literally right in front of me the whole time. I need to get a mount that goes over the top so I can mount the camera straight down, so I don't have I'm literally working like this going off from the side when I do stuff. So
yeah. Everybody that I watch on YouTube, they always say, oh, click the like button, click the bell. It's kind of boring. So you know what I say? I say assault the like button and stock bash that bell icon.
There you go. There you go. That's right. Mash that bell. All right. And Single Shot, anything you would say before we go?
Well, check out both channels. You know, I'm up on Rumble under Daywolf. Look up Daywolf on Rumble. And as soon as I get back from this next trip down to Georgia, there I'll be going back home, and hopefully we'll get a couple more videos out as far as that goes. Okay. And I think I reposted one on Rumble, a few of them actually, over onto Rumble from my videos. So
cool.
Check them out. Take care. God bless. America moves by truck.
All right. Don't forget, I think we have G23 maybe doing a show today. Make sure you guys check out Rick's Life as I see it. Kingpin over there posted a link to Rick's Life's channel. Make sure you guys do that. Again, shout out to rnldisplays.com. Make sure you guys get over there, pick up your display for your AR-15. It's a fantastic little bit of furniture to add to your home and display that AR-15 with pride, people. All right, so again, next week, we'll go ahead and continue the discussion. It's been fun. It's been great. Hopefully a little bit informative for you as we learned about the origin of 5.56. Guys, have fun. Be safe. And according to DJ Play Nice, he said the chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. All right, guys, have a great one. Bye-bye.
Bye, Alicia.